Welcome to the Warmup, presented by your local GEICO offices in Spring, Katy, Pearland, and Cypress. I'm Ashley Bullington. You'll find us right here every Thursday afternoon, getting you ready for the upcoming weekend of Houston area high school football. Can you believe it? We're just a week away from the 2019 season kicking off. And we know all of you are just as excited as we are here at Chevy's Inside High School Sports. Do you remember the last high school football play in Texas? Of course you do. With North Shore trailing 36-35 in the final seconds of the 6A Division I state title game, Mustangs quarterback Demetrius Davis heaved a Hail Mary into the end zone, and senior A.J. Carter hauled it in for the game-winning score. The North Shore sideline erupted in pure pandemonium, celebrating one of the greatest moments in Texas high school football history. It will be hard to top that in 2019, but we'll be sure to try. North Shore again looks like it will be one of the top teams, not only in the area, but in the entire state. But there's no shortage of challengers ready to knock off the Mustangs this season. The Katy Tigers went 11-2 last season, with both losses coming at the hands of North Shore. A third-round exit is earlier than we're used to seeing from the tradition-rich Katy program, but the Tigers know they need to improve to keep the pace with the Mustangs. A huge season-opening showdown with North Shore next Thursday night will provide an early litmus test for Katy.
It's been a growing up process as much as anything else. There's things you can control and there's other things you can't. It's tough losing, in the third round. But again, we lost to a good football team, lost to the state champions. It's just we have to find a way to sit there and play on their level, and we're not quite there yet. We're going to have to figure out how to get there. You sit there and make all the excuses you want, but it's not about that. It's about you sitting there going lined up and competing and doing your best.
One of the best stories last season was the sudden emergence of Katy Tompkins. Get this, the Falcons entered 2018 with just 5 wins in school history. But last year, they went 10-3 and reached the third round of the playoffs. Led by junior quarterback Jalen Milroe, who committed to Texas this summer, and senior running back R.J. Smith. The Falcons are ready to take flight again in 2019.
I like competition. I want to play in competitive environments. There's a scoreboard for a reason. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, but we're not worried about that. We worry about our effort on the field, one play at a time, one snap at a time. And that's kind of been ingrained in them that, if we have a bad play, go to the next play. There's nothing else we can do about it, so keep going.
We'd love to give you a team-by-team breakdown of every district in the area, but let's be honest. There's so many good 6A teams that we'd be here all day. And I'm sure some of you want to get back to binge watching The Office on Netflix before it goes away. But there's one 6A district we need to discuss because it's more loaded than the nachos at NRG Stadium. We're talking about District 15 6A. Klein Collins won their district last year after a thrilling victory over the Woodlands. But with programs like Klein Oak, College Park, and Conroe Oak Ridge right on their heels, both Klein Collins and the Woodlands have plenty of work to do to remain at the top of the district standings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's quality opponents every week. You can't go in and kind of overlook anyone because everybody's going to bring their A game every week versus every opponent, not just us. So, it's a challenge, but, it's a challenge our kids are up for.
2 area programs reached the state title game in Class 5A last December. In 5A Division I, Shadow Creek made an improbable run to AT&T Stadium in the program's first year of varsity football. The Sharks are hungry to prove their inaugural season wasn't a fluke and are hungry to follow it up with another big season.
It gives us the edge every day to come out here and want to go to practice, to get better, to get back to where we were, to play on that hot stage like we worked. During the summer, last offseason, we worked hard. During the spring, like last year, we worked hard to get to that position. And the fall was easy for us. As you can see, we fell up short a little bit, but we're just trying to rebuild and everything and get back to where we were really last year.
In 5A Division II, Fort Bend Marshall captured our hearts after overcoming the death of a teammate the week of the Buff State semifinal game against Corpus Christi Calallen to reach the program's first state championship game. Marshall returns a number of key pieces of that electrifying offense and should be one of the area's most fun to watch teams again in 2019.
Very proud of this group. Very proud team. These guys are very prideful in what they do, and they're a family. That's the great part about this program is the culture we built in this program is they're a family, and so they did a tremendous job last year, despite the adversity we dealt with, and I'm proud of their accomplishments. But at this point in time, we got to move on from that, and we got to focus on the next year.
That's just a small appetizer compared to the buffet of team previews we'll have for you this Saturday morning on our first episode of the season of Chevy's Inside High School Sports at 8:30 a.m. on KHOU 11. We also caught up with some of the area's top players this summer at the finals of the opening, including one guy who made a splash with his sense of style.
Hey man, this is my style. Yeah? This is my style. This is what I started. I started a trend.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about it.
It's called a bunnet.
A bunny?
A bunnet.
Bunnet.
That's Tomball wide receiver Damon Demas. And yes, that was one awesome bonnet on his head. And with that, let's head to the cool down. Xavier Alford is a huge prospect on the field and a leader of a dangerous Shadow Creek squad. Saturday, he officially announced that he will be taking his talents right down the road to UT to continue his football career. The Longhorns currently have the top recruiting class in the Big 12 and the 6th best class in the nation. Fort Bend Marshall did something pretty spectacular during the offseason. Their track team won state for the 4th time, and the 4x1 and 4x2 teams won national titles. The 4x2 squad consisting of 2 football standouts in Devon A. Chain and Malik Hornsby, who broke the high school world record for the 800-meter race. We'll see that speed transition to the gridiron next week. We've got one more social media gem. Matthew Bowling from Strake Jesuit took the nation by storm for his amazing speed last season. White Lightning is now a freshman at the University of Georgia and showed us that speed once again in a coaches versus players race, subbing in for head coach Kirby Smart as the 4th leg of the relay and bringing the coaches a come-from-behind victory against their football squad. That's all we have for this week's episode. Follow all of our social media platforms to stay up to the minute on Inside High School Sports content. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That'll get you ready for your wake-up call. Grab your coffee and turn on KHOU 11 at 8:30 a.m. for Inside High School Sports hosted by Matt Musel. I'm Ashley Bullington. Thank you so much for watching The Warmup, presented by your local GEICO offices in Spring, Katy, Pearland, and Cypress. Be sure to visit geico.com/Houston for more information and to get a quote. We'll see you right here next week for week 1 of high school football.